The card I pulled today for you is the Chariot, and the question that I wanted the card to answer, and the question that I asked was, what do I most need to know now? What would be most helpful for me to know today? Because I think at the moment it's really useful to take life day by day, step by step. And so if there's one thing that we can take on board and integrate into our lives each day to help us get through this time and to help us get the most out of it, then I think that would be really helpful and really useful. So the card that came out was the Chariot. And when it first came out, I kind of looked at it and I almost felt a bit confused. I was like, well, I don't really feel very in control right now. I don't feel like I'm in charge of my own chariot. I don't feel like I'm leading the race in anything at all. I feel more like I'm behind bars, that I'm imprisoned, that I am being controlled by other more powerful forces. So it felt a bit strange to me. But then on sitting and contemplating the card for longer, I kind of, I felt into it and I sensed what it meant. And that is that it's telling us that actually we are commanding our own chariot. Our chariot is our body, our chariot is our mind, and our chariot is our home, which we are all inside of right now. So our chariot is our own personal space. And our chariot, if we choose to make it so, can be strong, can be powerful, can be formidable. And our chariot can lead the race. And if we look down to the two sphinxes sitting at the feet of the chariot, and I'm looking at these two sphinxes, and at the moment I'm looking at them like these are the sphinxes, this is the power horses that are going to pull this chariot to where it needs to go. And there's two. One is dark and one is light, and it's up to you to choose who you want to pull your chariot. Who do you want to follow right now? Who do you want to pull you through into the future? Who do you want to lead you further into this year and into the years that follow? And it's a time now to sit and think, what do we really want? Do we want to follow the darkness like a lot of us have been doing previously? Do we want to fall into that same old victim mentality of allowing other people to control us, to make up their minds for us, to make decisions for us, to tell us what we can and cannot have power over? Do we want these people to decide how the world will be led, the things that will be done in the world, and the way that we should live our lives? Do we want to be controlled? And maybe some of us do, because there is safety and security in that. I mean, it's what we know, it's comfortable. Even if it isn't great, it's very comfortable. And there's a temptation in that. And I totally get that is a strong force. And, it's seductive. It's like sugar, like chocolate, like caffeine. It's comfort. And so I think we need to really sit down and think, is that who we want to follow now? Or would we like to change our minds and instead look towards the light? The light is instantly, the light feels lighter. Looking at the light sphinx, I feel weightless, I feel uplifted, I feel relieved, I feel like I can breathe, my body isn't so heavy anymore. The pain of living and life and just being a part of society, it's not so intense. Everything is different. Everything is kind of clearer, really. It's like all of these things down on earth, the things that have led our lives previously, none of it really matters. It's all minutiae, it's small, it's tiny. What matters more is our own spiritual growth and how we can grow to reach out, to serve and help others, to protect others, to heal others, to lift up others, so that together we can unite and heal and uplift and transform the world. And it's a very different mentality. One is all about me, and you're my enemy, and I have to look after myself first, and I have to save myself first. And the other one is about all of us coming together all of us supporting each other and all of us saving each other. And so I think this card is basically trying to say that we all need to take a step back and we need to sit down and we need to pull ourselves out of our shiny little bubble, pull ourselves out of complacency, because it's like we've been locked away, we've been in quarantine for a while now, and at the beginning it was very, very scary and very, very real, and we had huge emotions surrounding the situation and how we felt about it, and it was muddled and muddy, and it went backwards and forwards and up and down, and it changed drastically from moment to moment. And then we've kind of settled in and we've started to feel a bit more relaxed and a bit more comfortable and a bit more safe. And so we're not necessarily as scared anymore as we were before. And maybe we're taking chances that we shouldn't be, or maybe we're taking liberties that we shouldn't be. Maybe we're slipping back into our old ways, or maybe we're plotting and planning the future where we can slip back into our old ways. I think it's really important to take time every single day in which to be present and grounded and mindful, and to think about, how can I make the most of this time? How can I better myself so that after this I can be a better person to those that I interact with in the world? And so in this picture we see the Chariot, and behind the Chariot is a kingdom, and it's a golden kingdom. It's a beautiful kingdom. It's resplendent. It's the kind of kingdom that you'd like to live in. It's full of turreted buildings and castles, and it looks magnificent. It looks wealthy, and this background, the sky is golden, full of wealth, full of warmth, full of welcome, and yet we've been forced to leave, or maybe we're choosing to leave. And we're going out, venturing out into the unknown, but the unknown is this lush, verdant, green environment that is just nature in all of her beauty and all of her power. And it's time to go back into nature, to reclaim her, to reclaim the mother, to connect to her again, because we've become so disconnected. So it's time to go back to that, and it's time to choose. Are we going to pick the left sphinx and go back into the darkness again, go back to society and to being led, to being told what to do? Or are we going to pick the right sphinx, the light white sphinx, who will venture out on her own, bravely, courageously, risking danger, perhaps risking other people's malcontent? So I put that to you. Which path will you choose? And will you stand strong in your chariot and lead? Or will you sit back and allow yourself to be led?